Can Cardano's 𝗕𝗓 hit $12? Let's have a quick zoomed out look at this one on the weekly time frame. The current bear market low for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓 currently sits down here at 22 cents. Now, should we see a push up to that $12 level, it would bring us up to a very interesting Fibonacci level, the 786. The 786 is of course the 100% move of the previous bull market, taken over to that current low we do have. Well, we would see a 5,688% move to the upside. Now personally, I do think that is achievable for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓. I don't think it'll happen overnight, and I don't think it'll happen quickly, but I do think it's achievable. Let's have a look at the price action of 𝗕𝗓. When we drop that down onto the weekly time frame, well, we can see we are still in a bit of a corrective phase here in this wave 4, potentially looking to come down and test out the 200 EMA here in white at 44.73 cents. Before we would then look for another push to the upside, perhaps testing out that 702 again, perhaps pushing on up to the 73 cent level to test out the 786 fib level on the weekly time frame. And then down on the daily, well, we can see we have broke through that previous area we were looking for, dropping lower than the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. Are we going to lose 46 cent on this move we can see happening? Let's discuss it all in today's update for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓, but first of all, let's run that intro. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. Of course, I am JB, and I really wanted to have a deep dive into Cardano's 𝗕𝗓. Let's take a look at the daily and the weekly price action. Of course, let's bullishly have a look at that monthly and speculate, you know, where 𝗕𝗓 could really be going. And first of all, let's drop it onto the daily time frame. Let's look at the moves that are playing out here for 𝗕𝗓. So it is going to be 𝗕𝗓 paired up with USDT, Binance being the data source. So previously we were obviously looking at this WXY, X and Z structure, where we did see the move kind of cap out at 56.43 cents. But we also left the door open here for a potential deeper move to happen. This looking more like an A, B and C, bringing us back down here to test out that 200 EMA. And I think that could be a very interesting, possibly a very bullish thing for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓 to do. Now I can already hear the grumbles. You're telling me the price is going down, or you're potentially looking for the price to go down. How in the hell can that be bullish? Well, if we did see that price come on down, that would give us a fantastic opportunity to really push on to the upside in this fifth wave that I do still think is likely to play out for 𝗕𝗓. Where we can see the daily stochastic is still resetting, as is the weekly, which we will have a look at shortly. We are still looking for the price to continue coming on down before we look for this next bullish pump to the upside. 𝗕𝗓 will be no exception, and I do personally think a test of this 200 EMA would be fantastic to bounce up from here on the weekly, the daily, the 8 hour, the 4 hour, with them all in an oversold position. I think that could be incredibly powerful for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓. So we can see on the daily time frame especially, we have lost the 50 EMA here in red, and we are looking for, you know, a continuation to the downside. And I do think we are in the territory here of pushing down towards 45.43 to 40.12 cents, where we do see the 200 EMA lying within this area. Now when we throw on the Bollinger Bands, well, what we can see going on just now is quite an interesting push for the Bollinger Bands. We can see the upper band bring itself to the downside, the lower band starting to bring itself to the upside. A contraction of these bands tells us that something explosive is likely to happen. You can see it most previously here. When we've seen this contraction with the Bollinger Bands, we've seen this drop to the downside. May not look explosive, but overall this is an explosive move. We could previously come back to this area here in December where we've seen the contraction, then we've seen that explosive move to the upside. So once again, we are seeing this contraction of the Bollinger Bands. It does not tell us which way the direction of the next move is going, but a heavy contraction here, we could look for that next explosive move, further aiding the idea of coming down into this area, testing that 200 EMA perhaps, then looking for that move to the upside. Now when we add on Smart Money Concept also tells us a few interesting things here on a daily time frame. You can see we are trading inside of this fair value gap all the way back here from the 8th of December with a low of 45.19 and a high of 57.19 cents. We are trading within this fair value gap. Now a retest of equilibrium, we could lose there and drop down into the target area we do have here, or this typical retracement area. I once again still think this is an ideal situation for 𝗕𝗓 to break on down to. This overall would see stochastics reset, and possibly more importantly, we would continue to see the RSI resetting to the downside. We can currently see it sitting at 41.01%. It is trading below the average line, but a reset of this RSI would give us perhaps that bullish indication that we could be looking for a push to the upside for 𝗕𝗓. Now, should we come down into this area, as you know, it doesn't look likely we would be seeing, well, we could take a Fibonacci from that previous wave 3 high at 68 cents, and for now, for the purpose of today's video, we'll bring it down onto that 200 EMA. Well, that would tell us that we could potentially be looking for the price action to push up towards 76.47 with the higher level here of 92.47, which would be a fantastic move to the upside for 𝗕𝗓, especially on this daily time frame. But when we throw over onto the weekly chart, what would that tell us for the possible moves to the upside? First of all, we'll look at the EMAs, and is there any confluence we see with the EMAs? Well, there is. The 50 EMA here, the red one, on the weekly chart also marries up with the 200 EMA on the daily chart, around about that 41 cents level. So the idea of still dropping down into this typical retracement for this wave 4 is highly likely. Now, for that wave 4, you simply take the wave 2 low, the wave 3 high, and it gives you your area between the 38.2 and the 50% retracement levels. Once again, giving us the idea that this push to the upside is still the possibility. Well, we can see the weekly stochastic is resetting. Should we see the weekly also in the oversold territory, giving us that possibility, perhaps probability, of that fifth wave push to the upside. Now, we do have two interesting key levels on the charts marked out here. First of all being this 702 Fibonacci level. We have seen the weekly failing to close above the 702 fib. We have tested it, we have broke through it on 2 previous weeks, but failed to close above, and of course seen that price come on down. Should we see the price push back to the upside, breaking through that 702, then I personally think the next pit stop would be that 786 Fibonacci level at 73.29 cents, which would be a fantastic move to the upside overall for Cardano's 𝗕𝗓. Considering we have so far seen the bottom here at 22 cents, you'd be looking around about 238% move to the upside, give or take a few percentages. Now overall, I do think that's a fantastic move so far for 𝗕𝗓. So short term to mid term, I am incredibly bearish then bullish for 𝗕𝗓. I do think we will see a pullback in markets, but I do also think we will see another push to the upside before we will see a bigger correction. But what does that tell us going forward? Are we bullish on Cardano's 𝗕𝗓? Can we realistically possibly see $12? Well, let's look at the weekly chart and a really zoomed out look at where Cardano's 𝗕𝗓 could possibly go. So yes, it is still Binance weekly chart. And in the intro, I obviously spoke about this potential 5,688% move to the upside. Now, this will not happen overnight. This would be a bull market target, you know, to play over a longer period of time. But the idea of it doing these kind of moves, I think, is quite appealing. Now, this move in itself, from that current bear market low of 22 cents, with the move up towards $12.73, would see us smash off of the 786 Fibonacci level. So taking the 100% move of this previous bull market and bringing it over to the current bear market low gives us the 1-to-1 Fibonacci level, $38 for 𝗕𝗓. Now, I'm not saying we're targeting $38 level. I think it would take an incredible effort for 𝗕𝗓 to push up towards $38. But is $12 perhaps a realistic expectation? When we do look at those fib levels, well, we can see we have came up close towards that 0.236 fib level, which I do think we will hit on this push to the upside. But we can see some other key levels here. First of all, the 0.5 fib level at $2.90, very close to its previous all-time high here for 𝗕𝗓. Once again, I think we'll see incredible pressure there, but I do think 𝗕𝗓 will have the power, the energy to push on through to there. Up towards, once again, another interesting level of the 618. Now, we know there's a fantastic relationship with selling pressure at that 618 fib level. That coming at $5.34. Should we see the price push on through to there? Well, I don't think there would be anything stopping 𝗕𝗓 potentially hitting that 786 level, currently sitting at $12.73. I think that would be a fantastic achievement and a lot of happy people in the space. The 882 sitting at $20.90. Once again, would be a sensational move for it to go up towards. Then, of course, we do have that 1-to-1 to the 1.236 Fibonacci level up here at $38.44, with the higher level here at $130.02. Now, I'm not going to fill us with all too much hope. I'm not going to say we're targeting ADA to head up towards $130, but realistically $12, I think we could see ADA do so. We can obviously go and have a look at on-chain data. We won't do it for the purpose of today's video. We may catch it in the net in another one, but we've obviously covered it previously. We've seen a fantastic growth in the total value lot for Cardano's ADA. The ecosystem is thriving. There's lots building on it. There's lots getting released, like Midnight and so forth. With the increase in TVL, I think that's going to continue to drive the price action of ADA going forward. Of course, the shrinkage of available ADA is going to drive the price up in itself, and that, in my opinion, could see us potentially head up towards $12 ADA. Let me know where you're targeting ADA to go in that next bullish market. Once again, guys, I'm not expecting that to happen quickly overnight, or yeah, even next year. But let me know where your targets are for ADA in the long run. And if you want to carry on, staying in tune with the markets, check out this video right here.